To understand integrated reporting, we need to look at the context of today's modern businesses. At the Centre for Social Impact, we look at the role that businesses play in some of the world's most complex and challenging problems. In Australia, we see that businesses are forced to respond to and play a role in environmental issues such as climate change and carbon pricing, social issues like inequality and the impacts of businesses on local communities, ethical issues like animal welfare and global inequalities, and at the same time, there's always increased demands on the governance and transparency of the largest businesses we have. We're also realising that our current established systems of financial reporting and accounting, which are based on backwards-looking financial metrics, are inadequate to inform these sort of complex and far-reaching decisions. We have seen the emergence of sustainability or triple bottom line reporting. However, one of the common complaints of stakeholders of this type of reporting is that it's just adding a lot of detail and complexity without actually increasing the amount of transparency or insight provided. Integrated reporting hopes to address these challenges by providing a complete, holistic and balanced image of an organisation and its future strategies. Integrated reporting has two outcomes. First of all, it aims to enact some kind of behavioural change in the way we look at and what we expect from our organisation. The second aim of integrated reporting is to support the information needs of a wider group of stakeholders, including long-term investors such as super funds. A lot of these investors recognise that businesses operate and have strategies for the long term rather than simply the short term. So they want to see their reporting that reflects these multiple time frames for organisations. So in principle, integrated reporting is very attractive, and the next few years will form a tipping point for the adoption and implementation of integrated reporting around the world. So there are a few driving forces behind this change for integrated reporting. First of all, we see in South Africa has become the first jurisdiction to legislate and mandate that all organisations listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange prepare their reports on an integrated basis. And this is on an if not, why not basis. This comes out of the King report in South Africa on corporate governance, which suggests that integrated reporting is a corollary of improved corporate governance and more transparency and better management. Secondly, there's a lot of international momentum around the formation of the International Integrated Reporting Committee. And this committee is an international body that's formed of some of the largest and most progressive thinkers in this area. They come from business, from governance and from accounting, and includes representation by Professor Roger Simnett from the Australian School of Business. The ambit of the International Integrated Reporting Committee includes building consensus on the idea of integrated reporting, as well as forming a principles-based guidance to assist any organisations that are seeking to implement integrated reporting for themselves. This body will be producing a discussion paper that will be released later on this year, and eventually this discussion paper will lead to a standard for integrated reporting that will encourage development around the world. There are some barriers to the implementation of integrated reporting. First of all, measuring and evaluating factors such as environmental, social and governance issues requires a new set of metrics and measurement approaches that aren't fully developed yet. This has been helped along by some technological advances and some approaches, but this does represent a barrier for many organisations. Secondly, integrated reporting requires behavioural change on the part of organisations and their leaders, and integrated reporting not only represents an outcome of behavioural change, but a catalyst for behavioural change. Finally, the international landscape is a patchwork of different regulations and requirements, despite some harmonisation in international standards for accounting. So integrated reporting must fit in with this patchwork of standards, and at the moment the approach of the International Integrated Reporting Committee is to provide a principles-based guidance so that organisations can use those principles to fit in with their existing regulatory requirements. If you're interested in integrated reporting, I'd encourage you to explore some of the integrated reports that are available out there now. Firstly, from South Africa, we're seeing the first lot of reports being produced by listed companies, which are prepared on an integrated basis. Secondly, quite a few companies from the US and Europe are pursuing quite sophisticated forms of integrated reporting, such as Pepsi-Cola and United Technologies. And finally, in Australia, we've got an example in the National Australia Bank, where their annual report 2010 was prepared on an integrated basis.